felt yesterday watching this, Oprah, you will be free of your past, so that never again you'll touch this story. I was abused as a child. You don't need that anymore. You don't need it. And if you really want to help Americans, if you really want to help the world, if you really want people to be free of this, then you'll find another way to do this. Because yesterday what was happening, this is not the path. That's the path of untruth. It's the chicken and egg thing. And what we need is to get free of that. We need to transcend the duality. Transcend the duality of victim and perpetrator. And you can't do that the way you were doing yesterday, the way I was seeing it yesterday. I'm sure it wasn't done yesterday. They taped it at some other time. Oprah, the form Oprah, was perpetrating on that young man. It was very subtle. I'm sure that nobody's seeing it, but Gargi is only seeing this, and maybe some other people are seeing this. What she's doing is she's trying to gain power. The child, the 9-year-old child, the 12-year-old child in Oprah that's still there, who was abused, that part of her personality was coming to the front and trying to gain control over this young man who was a perpetrator. Think about that young man. His story, when did it start? He was 8 years old and the young girl was 5 years old. They were both children. Everybody's a victim here. But what I was seeing yesterday was that Oprah, that form, that person called Oprah, was struggling to overcome the situation in her own life, but doing it in the wrong way and causing harm to that young man. You, Oprah, if you ever see this, God bless you. Because I only feel myself in you. I only feel my consciousness in you. But this Gargi, this person, that Gloria was her name, she also had that happen, that some sexual abuse happened in the childhood. That does not have to stay like that. That wound can be healed. And healing that wound, you cannot do the way you were doing yesterday. What you were doing yesterday was continuing this thing. That's what I was feeling, because what that Oprah was doing, how much these 4 men were risking their lives telling what they told. And they will be targeted, I feel, because now their face has been on television, and now they stand for what? Those are the perpetrators. Those are the people who are molesting the children. So any crazy person can come and shoot them. That man was exposing his guts in front of millions of people. I'm sure that the 9-year-old Oprah, who was abused, felt some sensation of power, or was somehow struggling with that. This is not the way to resolve that situation. There's no perpetrator here. There's also no victim here. If in all there's any victim, then everyone is victim. So, to get power, and then the other person getting power, and then the next person getting power, and then that person taking over, and then this is not the way. Everybody needs to be healed. That young man needs healing. That old man, that 65 or 70 years old man, also needs healing. These people, the body may be old, but the soul living in the body is that never ages. We're looking at it and say that, and at one point Oprah was saying to that man, didn't you feel like a dirty old man, or didn't you feel like a disgusting old man? Why should we reinforce that negative feeling in that man? That all I saw when I looked at that man was a beautiful soul. I couldn't see that past. I couldn't see that sin, that heinous crime of touching that young girl. I couldn't see that when I looked at him. All I saw in him, in his eyes, when I saw his eyes on the television, all I saw was love. That's all I could see in that man. And in the other ones, they were so vulnerable. Those 4 people, 4 souls, so vulnerable. And that Oprah, she was not vulnerable. I was not seeing her openness. I was seeing she was like a vulture coming for them. But I don't want to also judge and say that was terrible, or this is Oprah, she's now become, the perpetrator. She's now become the powerful one. That was the game that I was seeing happening. And we need to get out of that. And you, Oprah, if you have to get out of there in order to heal that thing that happened, and those young men, they have to get out of there, and that is the way to approach it. Not this is the way that was happening. This is only causing that cycle to go on and on and on and on and on. Why am I saying this? Because in Bhagavad Gita there's a verse in the 3rd chapter, and it says, "What great men do, thus common people follow them." And what Oprah is a great man. What is Oprah? Oprah is a highly evolved soul. Oprah is like a huge light. She's like, football stadium lights compared to most people who were like 20-watt light bulb. Okay, Oprah's like 100,000 watt light bulb. Something like this. When that person does something like this, everybody follows that. And what was Oprah doing? Oprah was not healing the situation. No, I'm not finding that was happening. It was just like opening the wound again, again, again. Not to judge, but just to say there is another way to approach this. And the way to approach it is to become free of the past. Not to repeat the past. It's so hard to describe this. Okay, so God bless you. You are I am you. There is no difference. It's all it's like little transmitters. Everybody is a little transmitter of energy. So now I don't know what else to say. Annie, you still like me even if I said those things to Oprah, don't you? Yeah, she told me to be careful next time though. She said, I love you, but be careful.